Hello, 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 hello. Hi. Just hoping that you can hear me. Okay. Oh, wow. I like it when people are early. We're early.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can. I can. How are you?
I'm fine. How you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you. Where are you calling? Well, where are you joining from?
Uh, Actually, Central Florida, Palm Bay area.
Oh, Palm Bay. Okay. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. I'm in Xenia, Ohio. So that's the Midwest.
Ohio. Okay.
Hello, 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 and welcome to this wonderful Zoom meeting, which has been hosted by Nurse Amy, which is me, of GlamCare Academy Body and Beauty Studio, and also my wonderful friend, Miss Patricia Hartfield, the owner and CEO of Heri Detox Studio. And with me today, I have the lovely, I see my G Spa, also known as, so what could you introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Bridget, owner of My G Spa. I have locations in Palm Beach County and Palm Bay County, and we offer a plethora of services here.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. I'm so happy to have you. And you know what? I love the name of your spa, my G Spa. I love that. That is so creative. That is so creative. But thank you so much. And as we go on, it's already 1 o'clock. So I'm just going to go ahead. And then, you know, as the others come, then they can join in. So I think the expectation is I'm going to be talking for at least 30 minutes. And then we have like 15 minutes for questions and question and answer. Again, okay. No one person has all the answers, but I'm just going to share the knowledge that I have about why we need to cleanse our guts, and then we'll take it from there. So why do we need to cleanse our guts? Now, at GlamCare Body and Beauty Studio, it is something that is, I mean, I'm really big on, because one of the things that one way to detox your body and also to lose fat, lose toxins, it's directly related to the status of your gut. I do find that, and of course I've done my research and you're free to do same, that the gut, now the gut is the GI system, which comprises your intestines, your stomach, your liver, you know, that's the GI system. So when we're talking about the gut here, we mean that whole part of your body. And for a lot of people, for some school of thought, they see the gut or the GI system as the second brain. And in my research, I actually found that some of the components, or a major component of what makes up the brain, the central nervous system, which again, without throwing out too much medical jargon, it's called the, if I remember correctly now, I think it's called the neural, okay, it will come to me. But it's a group of cells that what makes up the brain also is found in the stomach. So they call it the second brain, because sorry, not the stomach, the gut system, okay? So the gut system acts by itself. It's very independent of the central nervous system. However, it does communicate also with the central nervous system. And that is why you find there are some people who really react with their gut. You know, they're happy, they're sad, they're depressed, or they're angry. The gut has a part to play. So let's back up a bit. What is in the gut? What comes through the gut? So for us, especially for us in this industry, a big thing is trying to get rid of fat and toxins. And this ties us to the lymphatic system. Okay. The lymphatic system is seen as the sewage system in the body. And one way to get rid of things, the lymphatic system, is through the liver, which is part of the gut system. Okay. So when you want to lose weight, when you want to feel good, because we're not just talking about weight loss here, we're talking about you being in a homeostasis equilibrium, if you will. That is your body, your mental, your physical. It's in a good ambience, okay? Good equilibrium. You have to have a clean gut. You have to have a gut that is also at balance. Okay, so that's why it's so important to cleanse your gut. So what's in the lymphatic system? In the lymphatic system, which is our sewage system, okay, so imagine me now, I'm using myself as an example from, the top of my head. I have my arms, my legs, the lungs, all the different parts. Imagine that they're all apartment complexes, okay? And when we flush the toilet, everything goes into the sewage system, which in our bodies is the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system carries byproducts, it carries toxins, it carries bacteria, it carries fats, okay? It carries lymphocytes. Lymphocytes are those organisms or some type of cells in our body that fights, infections and things that are not good to the body, okay? So those things are all in the lymphatic system. They all go through the gut into the liver. The liver is like the engine portion of the gut. The liver is the one that it breaks down the fat, it breaks down the toxins, okay? It breaks down the byproducts in such a way that the body can then secrete or excrete it out of the body, okay? So again, remember, the gut comprises the liver. So if you don't detoxify that whole system, essentially what happens is you belabor your liver, and then is not able to do the work that it's supposed to do. Your liver, actually, one of the big functions of your liver is detoxification. So if your liver isn't able to do that and there's such a thing called fatty liver. It just means, again, remember, the lymphatic system brought it to the liver, okay? So the liver is not a storage place for your fat. It's supposed to break it down, and it sends what is good to the body and what is not good to be excreted out of the body. However, if there's a clog up of your lymphatic system, there's a clog up of your gut, then essentially you're belaboring your liver, and your liver is not able to detoxify as it ought, okay? Remember, the liver also makes bile, okay, which is stored in the gallbladder. So again, this is all, I'm using all of this so you know why it is important. If your gut is not clean, as in, you've gotten rid of all the toxins, things that could make you sick, then it doesn't matter if you're taking tablets, you're taking tonics, you're taking vitamins, you're taking herbal mixtures or elixirs, is not going to work. Why? Because you're just clogging it up. So when we use, it's like when we cook in the kitchen, there are parts of the food that we do throw out, and there are parts that we're going to cook. Okay, so it's the same thing. Your gut is that part of your body. People say the second brain, because it is so essentially important to keep you at homeostasis. So one thing I remember that I didn't do before we started, and that's what happens sometimes when you're doing things like this. Let me go ahead and introduce myself. I am Nurse Amy. Amy Omari, popularly known as Nurse Amy. I own and I run my wellness spa here in Xenia, Ohio. And detoxing is a big thing for us. Now we offer, you know, just like my beautiful sister here, a plethora of services. But one of the big thing I have realized that really helps in my business is I push detoxing. I push it. For me personally, I've been a nurse since 2000. So this is my 22nd year and still counting. I'm still doing it. So, and the reason why I'm trying to give you a background of me, of what I do, is because detoxing wasn't, I mean, yes, it was part of my services, but I think I didn't start to push it the way I am now until I started experiencing it for myself. And I am pleased to say in my 22 years in nursing, as most nurses will tell you, people in healthcare, we have chronic illnesses. And I will tell you, nurses, nursing aides, doctors, phlebotomists, you know, if you work in the healthcare factor, I don't even care if you're in housekeeping. We work on the high stress jobs, okay? High stress, you know, hours. So when I say nursing, I'm talking about that whole department of taking care of people, okay? Or healthcare, people who work in healthcare. We are an example of just going through our shifts without even pausing to use the bathroom or to eat properly. So eventually, we are a good candidate of what not to do with your gut health. Okay, a lot of people work in the healthcare sector will tell you we have chronic pains. We are predisposed to diabetes. We are predisposed to hypertension, vision problems, migraines, you know, it's always one thing or the other, but we keep pushing. The reason why I have found out, because again, I did research to get rid of my chronic pain. For a long time, I have had to deal with chronic pain. In fact, the left side of my leg from my lower back down my left side. And for many years I did. When I first started as nursing, in nursing, I was a treatment nurse. And for those of you who know what nurses do, when we're treating people, a lot of the breakdown places in their bodies is behind them. And then, of course, we're always short-staffed. So we're bending and trying to get to where those, where you need to do the treatment, and you find that you're not using proper body mechanics. First of all, that's one. You're not peeing when you're supposed to pee. I mean, God forbid, you can't take bathroom breaks. So even if number two, you barely always make it, you know, or always barely make it. And then we're not drinking as we ought. And we definitely are not detoxing. So a lot of us deal with a lot of these things. Again, I've been talking to my colleagues. Now, for me, when I got into body contouring and wellness type lifestyle, it was in 2016. I was working part-time. I was still full-time as a nurse, and I was doing this part-time. And it was just last year, 2021, that I went into full-time doing this. One of the things that I did for me, part of detoxing for me, because I started to research, I didn't want to have surgery because I thought, well, according to my doctor also, that I was too young for it, because it was 50-50. Okay, they go into your spine, they do what they need to do. It might work, it might not work. You take a chance. And my husband and I thought that was too iffy. Okay, because okay, it's going to work. So one of the things that I realized was detoxification. Detoxifying yourself. What are the things that manifest in when you have a dirty gut? Pain, headaches, vision problems, gallbladder stones, kidney stones, hypertension, diabetes, okay? And again, some of these things either start early for you or later on in life, because even later when you cross, let's say about 50, people say that for most women, when you become postmenopausal, your estrogen level is low. So again, your cortisol goes up, your cholesterol goes up. So you start to have this, you know, they call it the midlife spread, whatever. They give it all kinds of names. You pass 50, think they should put you to pasture. That's not true. That's not true, people, okay? But what I'm trying to say here is you start to feel this fogginess. You're feeling foggy, you're not as alert as you need to be. You find you're constipated. A lot of women are, because we as women know everything. We're concerned about everything. It doesn't rain, it rains, it snows, our children, our husbands, our boyfriends, the neighbor's dog, the colleague at work. We carry everything along. All this is a pile-on. The gut has microbiome, meaning it has bacteria, it has some living things in us that is good for us. Okay. The thing is, we just want to keep them at a position where they don't become opportunistic, bacteria, that would then harm us. So that's why it's also important to detox, because when you don't and they grow too much, guess what? We start having IBS. A lot of people in healthcare have that, UC, the ulcerative colitis, IBS, IBD, a lot of those things, happen. It's all related to your gut and your lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is your sewage system in the body. There are two major ways that you drain fluids in your body. You have the blood. The good thing about the blood has got the pump, which is the heart. So it pumps up the nutrients and the oxygen. That's the big function of the blood. The lymphatic system, on the other hand, is the sewage system. It has no pump. That's why one of the things that I teach and I enforce with my clients, and it's helped me so much in my service, is that you've got to teach your clients how to manipulate the lymphatic system to drain properly. Hence, we have things like dry brushing, we have hand manipulation. Again, we're just trying to get the lymphatic system to move to the channels, to the nodes. You have nodes everywhere in the body. The biggest nodes is in your stomach. Again, the second brain. That is why it is so important to detox your gut, okay? You have to teach your clients how to manipulate and to stimulate and to energize or to wake up your lymphatic system to drain in the places where it needs to drain. Okay, because again, if the lymphatic system is like mucus. So in some people, it doesn't even move. It's so you can imagine the sewage system when it sits still with everything that's in it, all the junk, it just starts to fester. Then it gives room for diseases, okay, for things to happen. You hold on, again, remember, there are fats in the lymphatic system and people don't lose weight. When you have a junky lymphatic system, which again is slow, it goes into your stomach and it sits there, and then it goes into your liver and it sits there and is depositing. See, all those things, you see, everything has to come to your gut. It has to come to your gut. It is at the gut, and the main place there is the liver, but it is at your gut, the liver, that determines where things go to. So if the liver, which is part of your gut system, is not detoxified, you're not getting rid of the junk, what happens is you start to bloat. You retain water, you retain fat, it's not going to go anywhere. You retain toxins. You find that if you're not careful, harmful byproducts that should have been gone out of your system, either through the urine, through your poop chute, okay, or even just sweating, okay? If those things are not being done, what happens is those harmful toxins then start to go to the brain. And that's where you see, because again, things are breaking down. It's like you keep excrement, I'm just using, let's imagine that's the gut somewhere, and you leave it open, you see flies and everything come to it, and then it starts to give up acid. And then that's where the smell comes in, because is when those things are being broken down, they give up gas. Now the gas dispel, you smell it. That's what happens in the body. So it's not coming out, it starts to go towards your brain. Then you start to have the fogginess. And it's not enough when part of those byproducts is it's like ammonia. It starts to affect the neurons of the brain, and that's where you have confusion. And as a nurse, we've seen this happen to people where things like protein, like bilirubin, that should have been excreted out, it goes up to your brain. It starts to cross the brain barrier. So again, the gut is important. You need to get rid of any junk that's in it. If there are things that needs to be absorbed, it needs to be absorbed. It needs to be broken down. Okay. If those things are not broken down, then they break down inside because things are just festering now. The bacteria, they're happy because they were about to be excreted out. But now they've seen all this buffet food. There's toxins, there's fat, there's, all kinds of things, and they just feed fat. And then they start to give up gas, which is not good for you. So again, our gut health affects not only physically our bodies, but it affects us mentally. You have anxiety, you have depression, and people start to wonder what is going on. You have pain, again, once you're fat, because again, you're not getting rid of fat, your cortisol level goes up and insulin becomes resistant. That's how diabetes starts. Okay, so these are all the things that for me, again, I was sharing with you guys how it affects how I found a way around managing my pain. I upped my water intake. Now, people always talk about, oh yeah, you people talk about detox. It's always about pooping. Well, what other way are you gonna detox? Are you gonna detox through your mouth? You want to vomit it? I mean, because there are people who say that like, oh, there's so many detox things now. Everything is about, always having to use the bathroom. Well, because again, you need your gut to be able to excrete all those things that you don't need. If you don't excrete them, then you just bloat. You keep bloating, you're not going to lose weight. So one thing I tell my clients is an empty gut is a hungry gut. The more you're getting rid of stuff, let's talk about weight loss. The more you're getting rid of stuff from your gut, meaning, things go to the liver, is broken down and the urine, the excrement. Well, one thing you need to realize is having a little fat, because fat is good. Fat helps you. Hello?
Turn off the camera.
Oh, okay. Okay. Fat helps you. Fat is good. Okay. Is this too much fat? Is a lot, because you do need fat. Cholesterol, bile, estrogen, testosterone, our hormones, all these are made in the liver, by the way. They need fat. It's fat. Fat is used to make them. But the problem is, if there's too much fat, then your liver becomes overwhelmed, which results in fatty liver. So that means you can't even make use of the good, you cannot make use of the fat that you need to make good things in your body. Fat is good for you to be able to absorb the vitamins A, D, E, and K. All those are good for you. The problem is it becomes too much. When it becomes too much, there are what we call opportunistic bacteria in your gut, in your body, that will take advantage of too much of this, and it starts to harm you. Okay, so that is why you need to detoxify, or you need to detox. It is so important. Again, I was talking about how I started on my journey, how I wanted to deal with chronic pain. So I upped my water intake. Right now, I take a gallon of water. I want to go higher than that. Why? Okay, so for me, it has worked. For me, it's not just enough for me to drink water. Hydration is good. That it's paramount. You have to. Again, remember, we want to thin the lymphatic system, because which is thick. And if you have an autoimmune condition, it's even thicker. It's like mucus. So we're trying to thin it. So I'm also into dry brushing and manipulating the lymphatic drainage. Then another thing is again, I'm trying to go into things that I have used to detoxify my gut, which is good for you because it helps to cut down the fat, is lemon water. Okay. There are different things to use to detoxify. Okay. I don't know if we're going to go into that today, but the thing is, whatever is good for you or works for you, you want to do that. Because the more you're stripping your gut of fat, guess what? The more you lose weight, your GERD starts to decrease. So if you're even going into the body contouring industry, or you want to get body contouring services, or even if it's just surgery you want to do, remember, the doctor goes in there and takes out the fat. There's still remnants of fat. But everything that is left on there by surgery or anything, any kind of breakdown in your body goes through your gut. So the more you're bringing fat through your gut, remember, it goes through the liver to get broken down. The one that needs to be used is used, and the rest is thrown away out of the body. If there is no clean flow, if there is no clean and effective flow of excreting the fat, you get clogged up. So what happens? You start to get bloated. You start to pad on more fat. Your cortisol goes up. And then guess what? It backs up into the lymphatic system. Your nodes get clogged up. What is clogging up all this thing? Is fat. So it's like the same way fat clogs up our heart, fat clogs up our gut. And then things are not absorbed, so you have malabsorption. So all those things happen. Things are just not working right. Okay, so you want to, the more you get rid of fat, the more you detoxify, the more you're losing fat. Because what happens is, again, remember I told you, the gut has its own mind. It has its own nervous system, you know, in there. It's called the enteric nervous system, but it also communicates to the brain. So when you start to detoxify, this is what happens sometimes, most times. It sends, it tells the brain that, oh, we're losing fat in the gut. We need more fat to pad up this human. Now remember, nature wants to pad you up. It's a survival. It's just that it gets to be too much sometimes. What is inflammation? Inflammation is your body actually trying to help you, but then the byproducts of it, it's the symptoms are not nice, right? So essentially that's what's happening in the gut. So the more you're losing fat through the gut, the more the brain is going to other parts of the body to bring more fat to your gut. Okay, so that's why it's not only for weight loss. I wanted to go into the weight loss because, again, there are some of us here who do body contouring or surgery, and then we, you know, post-op care, but also is essential for your mental health. If you have a slow gut, mentally, you're not acute, you're not alert, you're sluggish. And then physically it manifests in headaches. It manifests in vision problems. For me, and this is something I just want to testify to, when I started to detox, there's so many things that I noticed in me. I would always get headaches. I don't get headaches as much. I really don't. If I'm getting headaches now, it's probably because I'm just hungry or I'm stressed, which we need to keep our stress down. Okay. And then my vision got better. I am not your everyday, I go to the bathroom and poop. It's just not me. Some people are, I actually encourage that, but I know that when I started to detox, I'm much more regular. I feel lighter. My chronic pain, I still have it. However, I'm not limping anymore like I used to for a long time. It got so tough, I couldn't walk, you know, do my work as a direct care nurse. It wasn't easy for me because I was limping bad. I can't stand straight. It just kicked in. But when I think about it now, all those things really tied in to my gut health. You know, some people react with their gut health. Something I've also learned in my holistic journey is that's how I discovered that the gut itself, the gut system has its own, it's seen as a second brain because it has its own, it's so independent and it does its own thing. For a lot of Asian cultures, like in India, Africa, Asia, I'm thinking some parts of South America, food is a relationship. So you have to make out time to enjoy your food. Food should have variety of colors to stimulate your gut, to stimulate the friendliness. There should be some kind of relationship with what you're eating or drinking with your gut. It helps to move things along. So when you're stressed, when you're distracted, you find that you're going to suffer indigestion. You're going to suffer heartburn. You're going to have acid reflux. You're going to have constipation. You're going to have bloating. You're going to have gas, flatulence. You know, you're going to have the urgency to sometimes the food just goes right through you without even absorption. So those things happen. And the reason is, again, the gut has not been sensitized right. Detoxing for me and following these steps have helped to regulate me. And now it's paramount that I enjoy my food. I actually take time out I set time to eat. I don't eat on the go. I really have tried. It's something I do, and I find that also regulates me. My chronic pain is gone. I have pain everywhere, you know, and we just take it for granted that, you know, pain and fogginess and all that is normal. It's not. It's related to your gut health. So I've been talking nonstop. And now I can take questions. It's Miss Hartfield, are you there? Patricia? Because she's my co-host today on this. We're talking about why do we need to detox our gut?
I am here.
Okay.
Hi. I had to figure out how to do *6 to unmute.
Let me see. I hope is everybody? I don't think anyone is on mute. So
I thought someone was on.
Okay, I can hear you talk. Can
you?
Okay.
Yeah, if anyone wants to ask a question, they have to *6 to unmute.
Oh.
Yeah, especially if they called in. If they're not on your Zoom and you can see them, then they have to *6 to unmute.
Okay, guys. So if you have questions, please *6 to unmute. If you're calling in, let me see if I've asked to unmute. I don't think I've muted anyone, but let me go ahead and let me see. It doesn't say.
I have a question. What is your best recommendation for detoxing the gut?
Okay.
Because everybody has different, medical issues, and a lot of people are scared to detox because of that. I know that IBS people, that's impossible. But anybody else, what would you recommend that for basic to get started with detoxing their gut?
I will tell you this, and thank you for asking that question. In my research and in me talking to different, sorry, I was just trying to see if there's anyone on mute, is I find now in I shouldn't even say Asian India, because I have a lot of Indian friends, and there's an Indian doctor that I do communicate with in my aesthetic part of business. And one thing I do know is, and in parts of Africa, is taking lemon. Okay. Now, I always tell people this lemon juice. Okay. That is either you're doing lemon, as in lemon, the fruit, put in water and warm water, and you drink it very early in the morning, or drink it before your meals. Essentially what it does, it breaks when lemon goes into the skin, into the gut, it helps to break up fat. Now, the detoxification, again, is targeted towards the fat. Fat, again, fat is a mode of transportation. It's the one that transports the toxins. Okay, the toxins are embedded in the fat. So lemon, I think, has worked for me. A lot of people use that. A lot of people also use the apple cider vinegar. And the reason why that is so popular also because what it does, it helps to break down the fat. That's what clogs the lymphatic system and essentially the gut system is the fat. Okay, the more the fat stays on, it begins to plug up. So the acetic acid in ACV, apple cider vinegar also helps. But I know people use turmeric. The essential ingredient in that is it curcumin? I hope I'm saying that right. Coumarin or curcumin? Okay.
Yeah, the curcumin, yeah.
Okay, so these are things that people, I know that even because I have patients that have IBS, I have patients that have UC. Okay, it's so funny, and this is something I've seen in healthcare where some things that you're supposed to get away from because they might exacerbate your symptoms. If you stay long enough to go over the hump, it's like there's a hump where, where if you come on this side, it is harmful. If you go on the other side, it's beneficial. But if you stay long enough, it actually cures you. So again, it's just for you to be patient. So I do find people, there's actually a lady that my patient that I see here who has UC, and she takes lemon water every morning. Now, remember, they have the urgency. They need to go. But in curing, the reason why she has UC is because of the fat breakdown there's some malabsorption. There's some fatty problems going on, which eventually again gives off those symptoms. But she said she's been able to use drinking a cup of warm lemon juice or lemon water, which a lot of people see as detox water, every morning, and it has helped her. So I find my go-to for most cultures is the lemon water. Okay, people take garlic. Again, you could mix all of this in water. It depends on your level of tolerance. Sometimes you want to know by your doctor, but I can tell you right now, a lot of MDs are going to scoff at alternative type interventions as long as it doesn't involve medication. So that's what I find. I hope I answered your question. Was that in line with what you were asking?
Yes, you answered my question.
Yeah, because I do find it's for me. Now you can take pills if you want to, and that's fine. I'm not going to knock it off, but I will think if you're trying to detoxify, I think the natural way is the best habit. Try natural type things, and the plethora of them. Today I thought I was going to, which I can still do if anyone wants it's like an ebook. It's so funny, I have that written, but I sometimes just give those to my clients. But if you need more on the kind of things that you can use, which I have used, it's worked for me. But the big thing is pushing water. Water has worked for me. And I drink my lemon juice in the morning. My husband and I drink, he swears by ACV. And I can tell you because he does have a gut. Since he's been using ACV, the apple cider vinegar, it's cut his gut. Again, it has. Again, because what it does, it detoxifies. It detoxifying or detoxification or detox, whatever you want to call it. essentially is breaking down fats. The fat is the one that transport the toxins, the bacteria, the byproducts. It's fats. So, any more question, people? Is anyone on mute? I don't think. So
this is awesome information. Thank you so much, Nurse Amy.
Thank you. Thank you. I like to talk about detoxing because it just helps me. You know, for anyone who is running a business, for anyone who's alive, you're, I say alive because their toxins will take in just by breathing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
By breathing, they come into your airway. You know, again, remember, they go into the airway, they go into the lung. Eventually, remember the flushing, the sewage system, it finds its way to the lymph. So.
And you were right, dry brushing helps so much with moving the lymphatic system.
Yes.
Dry brushing is definitely key.
It does help. It does help. I have people that I'm working with that I teach dry brushing. I teach them, you know, you don't, you know, it's either use the dry brush or you use the glove, people call it the spa glove, you know, the one that you can, yes, that is great. Or what I also do here with me, there is this, I call it Java scrub, but it's actually much more than that. I found that because I get a lot of people that have autoimmune conditions. I have people that have PCOS, endometriosis, all of those things are linked to your gut health.
Right.
They are linked to your gut health. Fertility problems are linked to your gut health. How is that? Fat is not being broken down properly. A lot of those fat that you need, that needs to do the right thing, is not doing the right thing because the liver is belabored, is overwhelmed, it is clogged. Your lymphatic system is not draining right. And then many problems happen in the liver, you know, bile. If your liver is fatty and is not detoxified properly, well, you're not making enough bile. If you're not making enough bile, then all kinds of things start to happen, you know? And so I work with people that have PCOS. I work with people that have even lupus. Okay, if you research, and I know that, I don't know if you've shared, you know, your experience, but if you do your research, and again, that's one of the things why you're so big on detox. It all boils down to your gut health. If your gut health is unhealthy, that's like playing on words. But if your gut is unhealthy, you're basically unhealthy because it's going to affect both your mental and your physical being. It will affect you. It creates an imbalance. It creates an imbalance. So what are some of the signs and symptoms? You just find that you're, first of all, mentally, you're depressed. People are like, depression, what's that got to do with the gut health? Because you need to understand this. The gut has its own nervous system.
It's all connected together.
All connected. If the gut is not, again, remember, people call it the second brain.
Exactly.
It affects your moods. It affects secretions. A lot of the hormones in our body, do you know where it's made? In the liver. Where's the liver? In your gut. What causes depression? A hormone imbalance. These are things.
You know, they got this now where they saying that the body detoxifies itself. And my thing is, if it detoxifies itself, then why is it still so many people that are constipated and have bowel movements? Their foods still aren't digesting properly.
Yeah. You know, people say, it's interesting when people say things like that because the body needs help, whether we like it or not. When the body detoxifying itself, the body is not expecting us to work 9 to 5 and be on constant stress mode. the body's going to try to compensate for that. And sometimes the body overcompensates, and there are byproducts of overcompensation. Yeah, the body detoxifies itself, but you're putting a lot on the body. Okay, maybe if you lived in paradise, you know, where you don't have to pay bills, where you don't have to take in exhaust fumes from cars, where you're not thinking like where I am right now, I need to come up with money to pay the county and the city zoning and to put my sign up. Well, yeah, the body would detoxify itself if all you're doing is laying down in some paradise somewhere, you know, as Adam and Eve, and all you're doing is just feeding on grapes. It'll be great. But then we are now starting to take in man-made stress, man-made toxins. Well, the body is overwhelmed. That's why things like constipation now happens. You know, that is why things like IBS happen. That is why people get depressed. If I didn't have to be thinking of bills, if I didn't have to be thinking of kids and husband and do you see what I'm saying? If I'm not thinking of all these things that what could go wrong, and all I'm doing every day is I just get what I want. I don't need to stress for it. My cortisol level doesn't need to go up. You know, I'm not thinking, oh my God, I'm pre-diabetic. How do I keep this at bay? Because there are things that disposes us or predisposes us to those things. And that's why we need to detoxify to help the body. Why do people get sick? Why do people get sick? Why do we need our doctors? Well, because we need to create a balance in our body. The body goes off balance. So people argue, they argue one side, but then they don't think about the other side and say, hey, look, the body will detoxify itself, but there are times when it's thrown off balance. Then what do you do in that situation? You want to try and bring it back, but then it's not enough. What is inflammation? Inflammation is the body reacting to some foreign occurrence in your body. But inflammation is painful. Inflammation is not comfortable. Inflammation makes you sick. Right? That's the body trying to get, that's the body trying to right itself. But then you got to treat those symptoms of inflammation, you know? So that's the whole process there. So when people talk about, because I hear people say, oh, well, you know, just detoxifying just means pooping. I don't know how else you're going to get rid of junk. The body was meant to get rid of junk through the gut. Unless you want to create a different way of, you know, because I've heard people say that. Have you heard people say that? Like, you know, all this detoxifying thing, it's just going to make you poop. Yeah, you got to poop. Where else is it going to come out from? You got to poop, you got to pee. That's how you get rid of it. That's it.
Exactly. It's no other way.
Yeah, what else are you going to do? Are you going to spit it out? Are you going to breathe it out? What are you talking about? That is how God made you. That is how nature has made you. That is how you're formed. The gut takes away waste. You put things, you ingest things, and it comes out of the body through the GI, the gut system. That's the only way you can detoxify. So what else are you going to do? So, you know, I hear people say that like, oh, is it just going to make me poop? Girl, you need to poop. Bruh, you need to poop. Okay. That's how you can get rid of waste. How else are you going to get rid of waste? You're pooping, you're pooping, you poop. It's natural. It's the way you're made. Unless you want to create something else. I don't know how else you can detoxify. Gut health. If your gut is junky, if your gut is dirty, if your gut has, again, remember we have the microbiome. You got to keep a balance. If you don't detoxify, then you create an imbalance where those microbiome, which is made up of, you know, different life there, cells. You know, you've got bacteria, you've got fungi, you've got all kinds of things. Okay, and they're good because they feed on the toxins. However, the thing is that the toxins are just there and you're not removing them. They become opportunistic. They can start to harm you because guess what? Their population starts to grow. They should not be, it should be at balance with you. Does that make sense? So that's why we need to detoxify the gut, folks.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so glad for this opportunity, Miss Hatfield. Thank you, because this is so good. One thing we want to tell you guys before you leave. No, actually, I think you should tell them what is it we have planned. We're talking about what do we have planned, Miss Hartfield, about you're starting and backing on your event organizing or organization. And we're thinking that something is in the future. We haven't decided on a date yet, because I know you don't want to talk about it. I am going to put you on the spot. And yes, this lady here, I remember again with me here, and she's the co-host of this whole meeting, this forum right now, is she is big and she has experience. She's the owner and CEO of Heri Detox Studio, and she also organizes events, like pop-up shops and fairs and stuff like that. So one thing that I'm looking to do is actually to go around the country, and one of my places that I'm going to stop at first is going to be Palm Bay or the Melbourne, Florida area. And she's putting it together, and this is what she does. And she doesn't want to talk about it. I told her I was going to put her on the spot. So there you go. If you are looking to put a pop-up shop together, or even grand opening, because she's going to be doing my grand opening too. She's putting things together, because I just got this new place that I'm so excited about. Again, stressful, but it's okay because I'm detoxing. I'm telling you, the county
Detox and relax, woman.
lady, the county and the city, because I'm downtown, I like the downtown, I like the traffic, but you just got to pay to put up a business, period. That's why we need to but yeah, so yes, that's Miss.
I'm working on something as we speak. I'm meeting a lady this Saturday, and I'm gonna have her to be doing an event with breath meditation.
Oh,
Yeah, and some yoga nidra and some other holistic things that we can pull together while introducing Heri Detox Studio, and probably do some detox wrap and go after we finish. So we're going to be brainstorming this Saturday, doing lunch on what we can put together sometime this year.
lovely. I love that. So stay tuned, folks, because there's a lot of things on the horizon. And but I've been so honored. I've been stoked to meet you guys and to be able to talk about gut health. Okay, it is so important. I push it in my spa, I do, and I see results with people who want to work with me and want to do. I mean, you don't even have to work to come to my spa. You just make sure you detoxify. Go make a conscious effort to decongest, declog your gut. You're going to be better for it. You're going to feel lighter. You're going to feel more energetic. You're going to feel more alert. The fogginess goes away. Those whole, good vibes come to you. It just does. And you're giving out good vibes. So yeah, it works, spiritually too. I believe that. Anyway, thank you so much. I am so grateful for this opportunity to be able to talk about this, and I hope we've learned from each other. And looking forward to doing more of this, because, again, we all.
Oh, you will be, woman. You will be. You will be. I am kidnapping you to do these things for me.
That's okay. I'm good. I'm all about.
I love your knowledge.
I love your knowledge too, and I love your go get it. You have this go-getter personality, and I think that resonates with me, because that's how I am. Go-getter. Just go get it. Go get it. Go get it.
Exactly.
Thank you, guys. So
thank you, everyone, for coming on, supporting us, and to learn about why detox your gut.
Thank you. And until we come your way again, y'all stay blessed and keep the gut empty. Keep it clean. Keep it going. Keep it moving.
Yes, please. Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.